Good afternoon. I'm Amy Millington. I'm the president of the Danville Area Chamber of Commerce, and I'm so glad you're all here today. Today is a chance to come together to celebrate our community, connect with one another, and look ahead to the opportunities that make Danville such a special place to live, work, and do business. And we're going to start by welcoming back Georgianne Seavey, who delivered a beautiful national anthem and led us in the Pledge of Allegiance at last year's State of the Town. She did such a fantastic job, we couldn't resist inviting her back here again. Georgianne, thank you for being here. Please join me all in welcoming her to the stage.
I hate to interrupt you, but would you please stand? No, I don't. And you may join in if you care. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Thank you. Would you please join me? Please stay standing and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Okay, can we have your attention? Good afternoon, everyone. That is a hard act to follow, I will tell you that. Thank you very much for that. Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. My name is Glenn Novotny. I've lived in Danville for 32 years now and absolutely love this town, and just can't say enough about it, how much it is. I am a real estate developer, currently building the Nova condominiums, the luxury condominiums on West Pontado, and also the owner of Glenhawk Wines, the vineyard here in Danville. It's great to see so many. I think I'm the only licensed vineyard in Danville. Now, why, I'm not sure, but I enjoy it. It's great to see so many faces here that we've known in the past and hope in the future. Our community leaders and partners gathered here for our annual State of the Town with Newell here and shortly after lunch here. As I am the board chair, the chairman of the board for the chamber, It's truly an honor to help kick things off with Amy here, who's our president. Sometimes people ask me, why did I agree to do this? I'm really not too sure, other than I think everybody stepped back and left me standing there. I'm not sure. But the reason I joined the chamber many years ago is because I care about this town and wanted to give something back to it. And this was an opportunity to do that, and also from the charities that we have here as well. The chamber plays a very unique role in helping our businesses survive and thrive all over Danville and Alamo in this area. They support our businesses, and being part of that work along such as a dedicated board of directors that we have here as well, that's something I don't take for granted and truly enjoy doing. Sometimes I drive Amy nuts, but that's part of my job. I also have to admit that this role kind of worked out. You know, one time I said I was going to retire. I've failed retirement 10 times and will continue to do so. Just the way that I'm wired, and my wife wants me to do something else, and I'm sorry, dear, we're going to keep on going. So I'm happy to be here and engage with the community. We're especially honored today to be joined by so many of our local leaders and their representatives. Your leadership, partnership, and commitment to public service help shape the quality of the life that we all enjoy. And we're grateful for the work that you do, often behind the scenes, but is so important to keep our community strong. We're also pleased to have Rachel Zenner from the office of Senator Tim Grayson and Donna Brown from the office of Assemblymember Rebecca Bauer-Cahan. Just raise your hand, please. Okay. We also, representing from the office of Congressman DeSaulnier, please join in recognizing Kaylee DeLand. All right. From Contra Costa, we're honored to welcome Supervisor Candace Anderson and her Chief of Staff, Carol Mascali. They do a great job for us. Here in our host town of Danville, please join me in recognizing Mayor Newell Arnerich, Vice Mayor Robert Storr, and council members Renee Morgan, Karen Stepper, and Mark Balotz. We thank you for all the work you do and the hours that you put in as well. We're also pleased to be joined by a key member of our town leadership, including our town manager, Ty Williams, and Police Chief Tom Rosberg. Keeping Danville as the safest city in California, and we appreciate that. From the city of San Ramon, Mayor Mark Armstrong. And from the city of Concord, Council Member Carolyn Orbinger. We're also glad to have our leaders from our education and transit partners, including San Ramon Valley Unified School District Board Member Shelley Clark, Superintendent C.J. Kamak, BART Director Matthew Rinn, and General Manager for Central Contra Costa Transit Authority, Bill Churchill. And to our sponsors, thank you for your support. Your support makes gatherings like this possible and reflects a shared investment that we all share to make this a special town with a special community. We have a short video we're going to show you from our fellow board of director member, Shana Rohan, from I Can Do That, and that we want to share with you right now.
Shana Ronan, and I'm the Executive Director of the I Can Do That Performing Arts Center. And I'm so proud to be serving on the board of the Danville Area Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber has played a huge role in shaping how we built and grow our organization. And so I want to spend a little bit of time talking about that and to really recognize the people who make it all possible. When my childhood best friend and I started I Can Do That in 2016, We had vision, we had drive. We also had absolutely no business experience. So one of the first things that we did was join the Chamber of Commerce. And what that gave me was immediate access to people who had already built businesses, who were willing to sit down with me, share what they knew, and help me build something real, faster and smarter than I ever would have been able to on my own. Then 2 years later, we announced that we were going to be expanding, but what we didn't see coming was the global pandemic. And what our students saw was that when we chose to take a bold step forward, we weren't alone. The chamber showed up. The town showed up. The relationships we had built were the ones that carried us through. Now we serve over 2,500 kids per year. And I can say with complete certainty that everything we have built today was because of this community, the chamber and the town of Danville showing up and helping us build it. And over time, that support hasn't just continued. It's deepened and grown as all of these relationships have grown. And we're just one of the many stories of how the chamber gives opportunities for all of us to learn and grow and connect every single day. Through events like the State of the Town and the Sip and Stroll, through the mixers and ribbon cuttings, workshops, this is where those connections happen. I am incredibly grateful to the town of Danville and to Amy and the chamber team. But on behalf of the chamber, I want to say how thankful we are for all of you, because none of this would exist if it wasn't for all of the support and love and dedication that you all bring to the Chamber of Commerce and this town. So thank you for showing up. Thank you for volunteering at check-in and for pouring wine at mixers and for being a part of all of these beautiful events. And I want to take a moment to truly recognize and thank the businesses who have stepped up to sponsor this event and so many events for this year, and especially our community champions whose commitment and investment give the Chamber the resources it needs to show up for all of us year round. So in the spirit of connection and deepening our relationships, I have an offer for all of you in the room. In celebration of I Can Do That turning 10 years old, we just launched the I Can Do That Unscripted podcast. I would love to feature you and your business. You can come on into the center, or we can come to you. Walk me through your space and share what you do. And I'm so excited for our community to get to know more about who you are and everything you bring to this incredible town. So thank you for being a part of this community. And my encouragement to you is to keep showing up, keep making connections, and keep taking advantage of all that the chamber and the town have to offer us. Because the more that we invest in them, the more they give back. And that really is what makes Danville so special.
Shana, stand up and take a bow. Well, very well done. Thank you. We thank you not only for the video, but for the heart that you bring to this town and the things that you do to help our young people and the community in general. You are very special. All right. And also, it's very nice to serve with you along the Chamber Board of Director and got her to volunteer for the events this year. Thank you. And the same spirit of partnership is reflected in the organizations that we're about to recognize, those who stepped up to support today's events. I'd like to take the moment to acknowledge our sponsors. Our platinum sponsors are the Stanford Healthcare Tri-Valley and Mechanics Bank. Our California Gold sponsors are Bering Global Education Foundation, La Vie MD, and Republic Services. And for our silver lining sponsors, For the Valley, Joybound People and Pets, Poppy Bank, and Sunrise Senior Living. And in kind, our sponsors are Laura George Photography and Retzlaff Winery. In addition to our event sponsors, the Chamber is delighted to have a group of annual sponsors we call our community champions. Your ongoing support fuels the Chamber work year-round, from programming and events to advocacy and daily operations. Simply put, we couldn't do this without you. Our visionary sponsor, Blake Griggs Properties. Our seed sponsors, Stanford Healthcare Tri-Valley and PG&E. And our connector sponsors, Bay Alarm, Face Reality Skincare, the Nova Condominiums, Heritage Bank of Commerce, I Can Do That Performing Arts Center, and John Muir Health and San Ramon Regional Medical Center. Just give them a round of applause, please. This next, and then I'm done. All right. We have some additional folks we'd like to recognize. I'm going to mention your names, and we'll hold the applause till the end because there's quite a list here. Danville is well known for the charities that we do and the things that we do in this community and around the area to support different charities. There are a number of nonprofit organizations here today, and we'd like them to stand as well, and we'll hold the applause till the end. First of all, Danville San Ramon Rotary, Discovery Counseling Center and Thrift Store, Down Syndrome of the Bay Area, Embarcadero Media, Family Justice Center, For the Valley, I Can Do That Performing Arts Center, Joybound People and Pets, Kids Country, Salvation Army, San Ramon Chamber of Commerce, Sentinels of Freedom, Three Valleys Community Foundation, Vietnam Veterans of Diablo Valley. Thank you for all being here and the work that you do. Give them a round of applause. Okay.
You're done.
I'm done. Take it away.
Go. Thanks, Glenn. I want to echo Glenn and Shayna's recognition of our sponsors. I can't underscore enough how important they are to our success. None of this happens without your generosity and your commitment to this community. There are some additional people to acknowledge, so I want to thank our board and ambassadors for coming today. Our board provides invaluable leadership and guidance, and we have nearly our full board attending today. So in addition to Glenn and Shayna, who we've recognized, I'd also like to thank Tim Argenti, Clara Blyer, Jason Bliss, Marty Breen, John Crossley, Dave Fong, Jason Hickey, Misty Jones, Stephanie Nava, and Randy Nagy. Thank you. We have our immediate past board chair, Uday Kumar, here today, and past board member David Baring. Thank you both for being here too. Our ambassadors are the welcoming faces of the chamber. They make connections and bring energy to everything we do. Our ambassadors here today include Jason Blyer, Scott Bigelow, Laura George, Kim Falahati, Monica Nolasco, Melanie Peterson, and Donna Piper. Thank you all for being here and for your help. Okay, so when we think about Danville, I think a lot of us have a similar picture in our heads. It's thriving businesses, connected people, the energy you can feel when downtown is buzzing. It's the kind of community we all want, and the kind we all play a role in shaping. It takes intention, investment, and most importantly, it takes all of us. But the reality is, it's not easy right now. The environment that our small businesses are operating in is genuinely hard. Rising costs are squeezing margins. Workforce challenges make it difficult to staff and retain good people. And consumer habits have shifted. People are shopping differently, spending differently, and showing up differently. And regional competition means that Danville businesses aren't just competing with each other, they're competing with other towns and other online options, and every other experience vying for your time and your dollars. So running a small business today is complex, and it's only getting more so. In a town like ours, what affects one business tends to ripple through the whole community. When a storefront closes, the foot traffic that fed the businesses around that disappears too. When one restaurant draws a crowd, the shops nearby benefit. Foot traffic is shared. Success is shared, but unfortunately, so is struggle. This is an interconnected ecosystem, and that means support requires participation from all of us. And this is where the chamber comes in. Our role is to turn individual businesses into a collective force, and we do that in 5 ways. We connect by building the relationships that turn acquaintances into partners and clients and collaborators. Oh, I'm going to go back. We equip by providing the tools and resources and knowledge to help businesses grow and adapt. We activate by creating events and experiences that bring people through your doors. We amplify using our platforms to reach and give your business more visibility. And lastly, we advocate, showing up at the local and the state level to speak on behalf of our business community. That's the chamber, and that's what we're here to do. So these are some of our numbers of what that looks like in practice. We have about 420 members, and we welcomed 70 new members in 2025. We had 17 ribbon cuttings and 10 mixers, and our website and directory views number in the tens of thousands. It's a growing audience and reach across everything we do. And they aren't just really numbers, it represents momentum and visibility. It's real opportunity being created for our local businesses. So today's seed is tomorrow's anchor. Every anchor business in Danville started as a seed, a new idea, a first location, and a leap of faith. The businesses that have been here for decades, they were once brand new. And the businesses that are joining now, like the 70 new members I just mentioned, they're going to be tomorrow's anchors. So speaking of new members, I want to take a moment to recognize you personally. If you're a brand new business that just opened your doors, or an established business that recently joined the chamber, or if you're one of the new members that joined us in 2025, please go ahead and wave your hands so we can recognize you and give you that honor that you deserve. That right there is the future of Danville, and we're so glad that you're here. We nurture new members, we support growing businesses, and we celebrate established leaders. That's the cycle of a healthy community, and it starts with someone giving something new a chance. Okay, so I like games. We are a competitive family, and at dinner every night we are always playing games. So I wanted to try to gamify something and have a little fun here. So this is a little bit of audience participation. I don't know if you can see the screen well enough, or hopefully the screen's in the back, but we wanted to take a moment and recognize some of our longest standing chamber members, the businesses, organizations, and agencies that have been with us for over 25 years, because that deserves recognition too. So it's our Guess the Business emoji edition, and I'm gonna start with number 1. If anyone can recognize what that is, you can just shout it out. Bay alarm, yes. Okay, let's try number 2. Lori Buffalo, where are you? Next Step Dance Studio. Okay, number 3 is a little tricky, I admit. Does anyone know what that one is? Kids Country, yes. Number 4. The school district, SRV USD. And then number 5 is similar but different. The Ed Fund, yes. Okay. Number 6, Recycle Smart, yes, Ty. And number 7, Tim. Okay, and last but not least, number 8. It's Mount Diablo, the old oak tree. Everyone in this town has 2 children and a dog. There's very free parking everywhere. It's the town of Danville. A brew pub on every corner and lots of shopping. Okay, thank you for playing along with me. This slide is about looking forward and where we're going in 2026. So this is what we're thinking about for what's ahead. We have 3 big priorities that's driving the Chamber's work this year. The first is inclusion. We're creating more low-cost and no-cost ways to engage and making it easy for someone to show up for the first time without feeling overwhelmed. We're diversifying our formats, times, and experiences because we know that not everyone can attend the same type of event. And the second is placemaking. We want to make downtown Danville a destination, not just a place that you pass through, but a place that you come to. We're expanding our signature events this year and investing in intentional storytelling to highlight the people, places, and businesses that define Danville. And last but not least, meaningful connections. Networking is only valuable if it goes somewhere. We're introducing morning mixers, affinity-based communities like our brand new Young Professionals Network with the San Ramon Chamber. Thanks, Danielle. And more intentional formats that help you build real relationships, not just exchange business cards. That's the direction we're headed. What I hope comes across in all these 3 areas is a focus on intentionality. We're not just hosting events, we're designing how people experience, connect, and engage in this community. So this ecosystem, it belongs to all of us, and I want to say it clearly. The Chamber can't do this alone. Businesses can't do this alone. Resilience is a shared responsibility. This ecosystem, the one that we're all a part of, it belongs to all of us, and every member, every resident, every person who chooses to spend their time and money in this community. When you show up, it matters. When you choose local, it matters. We're all stewards of what makes Danville special. The good news is contributing doesn't have to be complicated. Just show up, come to events, be present. Make one connection, introduce yourself to someone you don't know yet. Support one business, go local before you go elsewhere. And stay engaged, follow along, share what you see, keep the energy alive. Small actions consistently create real momentum. That's how communities thrive. So another thing about me, in addition to loving games, is that I love a good social media meme, and I'm not afraid to recycle them, even ones from 2016, like Be Like Bill posts. So I'm introducing us all again to Bill. Bill sees a post about a local event. He could keep scrolling, and honestly, most people do. But Bill stops. Bill comments, "Looks fun." Maybe Bill shares the post. It takes 2 seconds, and it helps a ton. Social media algorithms reward engagement. When you like, comment, and share a post from a local business or from the Chamber, you exponentially expand who sees it. You turn one voice into many. Bill is a community hero. Be like Bill. And finally, thank you. Thank you for being a part of this ecosystem. Whether you've been a Chamber member for 30 years or this is your very first Chamber event, you belong here. You are part of what makes this region work. We're so proud of what we've built together, and we're energized by what's ahead. The best is still in front of us. So I hope you all enjoy your lunch. Take a few moments to connect with the people at your table, and I'll be back here soon to introduce our main guest for the day, Mayor Newell Arnerich. I'm glad you're all enjoying your lunches so much. This is great to hear all the conversation happening. It's my pleasure to introduce someone who has helped shape not just the direction of our town, but how we think about its future. Mayor Newell Arnerich has served on the Danville Town Council since 1995, including 8 terms as mayor. His leadership helped establish Danville's pay-as-you-go fiscal model, one of the key reasons our town remains on such strong financial footing today. His impact extends well beyond Danville, And through his work with the Contra Costa Transportation Authority, he has helped advance mobility innovation and emerging transportation technologies. His leadership has also helped foster partnerships through Gomentum Station, one of the nation's premier testing grounds for connected and autonomous vehicles. You can read his full bio in the program, but I'll share one thing I especially appreciate: how generous he is with his time. I've had the chance to walk around downtown with him, meeting local business owners, and every stop comes with a story or a bit of history you didn't know you needed. It's like a walking masterclass in Danville. He brings that same depth of knowledge, perspective, and care to everything he does, and I know you'll hear that in his remarks today. Please join me in welcoming Mayor Newell Arnerich.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Yeah. I think with the weather, we're skipping spring and racing into summer. It's an exciting time to be here. There are a couple of people I think we need to introduce again. While Danville is listed, yes, again, with this particular entity for the 6th time as the safest city. Last year they listed as number 2, but with another entity we were also number 1. So for 7 years in a row. What does that take? It takes leadership not only from the council, the staff, but particularly the chiefs of police that we've had. And let's give another round of applause to our current chief, Chief Tom Rosberg. But there are 2 others. One of our former chiefs, former detective in Danville, Chief Chris Wenzel, is sitting at that same table back there. And another chief is sitting real close to me, and I think she's wearing something that will protect me in case you all charge the stage. But a chief you haven't met, somebody who was the former chief of the city of Richmond, who is now the executive director of the Family Justice Center, is Bisa French, who is here today. Yes. And I hope you get the opportunity to get to know her and know what role and an important role she's playing here in our community and all of Contra Costa County. It's truly a pleasure. I've got to put glasses on, otherwise I'm going to miss this. It's truly a pleasure to be here this afternoon with so many people who deeply care about this community, a community that we call home. Danville's more than a town on a map. It's a place where people look out for one another, where families build their lives, where volunteers step forward, and you saw by the number of nonprofits here today, and where civic pride runs really deep. For more than 3 decades, it's been one of the greatest honors of my life to serve this community as a council member and a few times as mayor. And I remain inspired every day by the people who make Danville what it is. And on my walk this morning in downtown Danville, it was truly a beautiful place full of great people. But today I'd like to share some reflections on where we are as a town and where we're going to go together. This community is built on shared values. And proud of our past, and we're confident in the future. That's the message today. What makes our community unique is that we actually have a downtown. Now, truth be given, we've spent half of our entire capital in the life history of the town of Danville, all downtown. Now, why would we put that much money into that? And part of this is the story, as the video was telling. Yeah, you could buy steaks for $2. Oh, you can eat pasta for $1.50. You could buy a house for $10 a square foot. It's a little more expensive today. But it's because of the foundation of the things we've done to build the community that downtown, as Amy said earlier, isn't just a place, it's a feeling. And you can look at communities that don't have downtowns, and you struggle to get that cohesiveness. You get neighborhood cohesiveness. Everybody in Danville brings people to downtown. They show off to their neighbors, to their friends, their relatives that are visiting. And we're going to make a little announcement. Maybe there's some place they can stay when they get to Danville. We mentioned everybody that's here today, the nonprofits, the business leaders, the community leaders, our school district. The number one reason, if you're in the real estate business, what's the number one reason people move to Danville, California, or the San Juan Valley? Schools. And here's another statistic. 80% of the people that live in the San Juan Valley don't have school-age kids. 80%. So as you know, when you go to pass a funding to help support our school district, it takes a lot of work. Now, I'm one of those. Most of us sitting at the table, we all have children, but we don't have school-age kids. It's important to know that. It's still, and if you ask a person who's lived here 40 years, oh, that's me, why do you still live here? It's because of the schools. And something else that goes hand in hand. Do you know there is no place on the planet that you have good schools and safe communities? Let me rephrase that. There's no place on the planet that you don't have good schools and safe communities. They go hand in hand with each other. If you don't have a safe community, you're not going to have good schools. You need those children to feel safe. 40 years ago when I moved here, we didn't let our kids. Renee, she moved here a couple of years after me. She lived right near the school. She walked the kids to school, her daughter. You didn't let your children. Now, get out of the way. The kids are walking hand in hand, second and third graders by themselves. It's a cultural change in this community. And you should feel proud of that, and you should support that. Back one up. This is actually a philosophy that Ty Williams, our new town manager, she noted there's something different in Danville. When you go to a counter at most communities, particularly if you want to build something, you walk up and you say, boy, I'd like to do this. And the person on the other side of the counter says, no. And you wait. Is there any more? No, you can't do that. In Danville, you walk up, somebody says, well, that's an interesting idea. If you do this and this and this, by the way, we can get you a permit. And we'll get you a permit in 10 days, if not over the counter. It's a philosophical change that the people that live, work. Ty has lived here for a couple of decades. Joe Calabrigo, our former, he lived here for 35 years in Danville. It's a way of life with our staff. We don't have the same thing other cities have to offer. What we have is a working culture, and you're going to see a statistic here about what is unique about the culture amongst our employees. They live and breathe the community. and they value this more than anything. So when you see somebody doing something nice for you in the town of Danville, just say thanks. It's all they look for. They want to do the best of the best, and we try only to hire the best of the best. So yes, safest city in California. Rancho Santa Margarita, which I'm going to meet at a statewide meeting tomorrow, is still unhappy. They're about number 2, except last year, 1 year, they were slightly above us. And something else, there's 483 cities, 58 counties. Who's the best run financial entity? And by the way, there's another 2,400 of those other entities. Town of Danville. And I'm going to tell you why, and why it's important. Who are we? Who's in this town? Population, by the way, our population is dropping 0.5% per year. Why? Because the rest of the state. And I'll show you another statistic. Median age, 83% of households married with children. So that gets close back to 80% of our population doesn't have school-age kids, but they are in that part of that category. This is our rising population. People are aging in place. Since COVID, that number has increased 24% more, my age and above, are staying here. If you're in real estate, particularly single-family resident, you'll understand why. One, it's a great place. It's the safest place and it's not just the single, they say, oh, you're the safest city under 250,000. No, we are the single safest city. They give a hall pass to the bigger cities because their crime rates are so high. We are still the single safest place. And I'll also explain why. Well, why not just because of our chief, our police officers, because of all of you. It's all of us as a community. Yeah, we have a gold card, by the way. Unlimited credit worthiness. Highest rating in the state of California. You know why? We don't borrow money. Same thing, your credit score personally, the highest number you can get is 850. If you don't have any debt, you're 850. We can't afford it. We got classified as sort of that limited service city. So it's great to have that rating. It feels good, but we don't use it. This is another one. This is the one I was talking about. Most cities, most public entities do not want to be rated as to who's doing a good job. Now, why should we do that? You ought to do it to learn from other people who have figured out a way of doing things differently. We have the same number of employees now and the same number of police officers when I joined the council 31 years ago. There isn't a city or a public entity in the state of California that can do that, unless you're unfortunately a declining, like school districts. All of our school districts are getting smaller, and they are getting smaller. So that public policy picked us as the single best financially run. And this is the other one that's important. There were only 360 cities in the United States that were rated. And this is the employees rating a place to work. It had nothing to do with us going after this. The employees went after this. This is really important. And us on the council, our job is to make sure that there is a great workplace for them, that they get the best training, the best support, and that they're absolutely constantly thanked for the work they do to help make this a great community. So there are 3 kind of pillars of our organization. There are 5 of us on the council. Individually, would love to say we take credit for everything, but that's not true. There are 50 volunteers on our commissions and boards. And they didn't used to, but now, given the nature and some changes in state government, they advise directly to the town, and they advise directly to us. And on planning decisions, particularly if you have a housing project and it's in the state housing element, we don't make that decision. The Planning Commission does. By law, it used to be only the elected body could do that. But our planning, so their role and responsibility and how they talk is critical. And by the way, every 6 months we advertise for positions that are open, and half at any given 6-month period, half are going to be open. So if you're interested in serving in one of our commissions, and we're looking for a new youth poet laureate, so if you have somebody who is between 16 and 18 years old, sign them up. Our first one is going to be probably the highest standard I think we're ever going to find for a very long time as she graduates and moves on. So back to police services. So Part 1 crimes, we used to be, can't probably read it, over 829 when I first got in the council, and we're down to 257. That's a big deal. Part 1 crimes, those are serious. Those are the things, yeah. And thank you to, our thanks really goes to the policy and the investment. We couldn't do it by adding more police officers. I'll be honest, we can't afford it. But what we could do, and the council took a lot of careful time looking at, is invest in technology. First in the Contra Costa County to have body cams. Boy, did they resist that. Once we got it, it became a standard. The sheriff adopted it, the standards adopt. We were the first in the county to go to a camera system. Nobody showed up our public hearings saying, oh, that's a terrible idea. We have great custody, how that works, what the data is used for, what it's not used for. And it's a crime prevention tool. And the other thing is, how many crimes, what's the percentage of crimes in the United States that are ever solved? Any idea? It's right about there. 10%. Highest 11%. Contra Costa County as a whole is 17%, which is fairly high standard, by the way. In the town of Danville, it's 40 to 60%. And recovery of stolen goods is in the same number. We've chased people all the way to Florida. Just the other day, Chief sent somebody down to Los Angeles to pick up a vehicle and stolen goods. And LA helped us make that arrest. So technology isn't something that just says, stay out of my community. It's a tool that helps us find, go after, and becomes a prevention tool. And that prevention tool is, don't put technology in if you're not going to use it. What I mean by using it, if you don't invest to go solve those crimes, then why do you have a police department? And that's the shortfall of most communities. The crime rates are so high they don't have the time to invest. But what we have found, how we got those numbers down, the more we invest in solving crimes, the less crimes we have. Because guess what? Bad guys kind of find out. When they're hanging out in jail, go, hey, how'd you get caught? Don't go to Danville. They prosecute. And I'll tell you what, it's been a very hard, difficult task for the crimes that happen in our community to get the district attorney a degree to go after them. There's a lot bigger crimes, and the justice system is based on economics. There are 20,000 crimes committed in Contra Costa County a year. How many of those can go to trial? 160. And that, by the way, that 160 is the full capacity of the court, and that includes lawsuits, municipal, civil. So for the crimes that are prosecuted, it's the worst of the worst. So I get it. It's hard for us. So we do a lot of extra legwork to make sure that those crimes are solvable and prosecutable. The other thing is right up there, volunteers. We have 40 VIPs, volunteers in police services. And if you ever come to an event in Danville, you'll see our officers wear the nice dark blue uniforms. Our volunteers wear the dark blue plants and a white shirt, has the Danville patch on it, and a big smiling face. Those are just volunteers, highly trained. One of our best programs that we have that they run is if you go on vacation, you're worried about your house, they'll come by every day and check it. In fact, they'll go check to make sure all the doors are locked. In fact, they'll check to make sure the gates are locked. They'll walk in your backyard just to make sure everything is okay. It's a huge deterrent. But it's all of these other things. Our police officers, the coffee at the cops, recess with the cops, cops in cars, National Night Out, Citizens Academy. By the way, you can sign up for that right now. It's a great, even if you're not want to be a volunteer, how does the police department work? How do we make that connection between you as a resident and your police department? They're not just somebody you call when you need something. The partnership is pick up the phone when something doesn't look right. Let them check it out. We had over 28,000 calls last year. For a community of our size, that's up. That's a lot of calls. But that's what makes us safe. So when you see those volunteers, just say thank you. Some of those have been doing it for 20 years. So pretty extraordinary group of people. The other pivotal change, and we have to really give credit to San Juan Valley Fire Protection District, that they were a key partner in changing how do you respond to a mental health event. First of all, you have to be able to identify it. That phone call may set it up. There's something horrible going to happen, but it's a person in crisis. Identifying that is important, but responding it to. So in Danville, San Ramon, the way it's responded to, instead of putting your siren on, the flashing lights, which is going to make a person agitated and worried, no sirens, no lights. And by the way, it may be the fire department that shows up first. Now, right behind them is a police officer. And behind them is the A3 team, the county, and thank Candace Anderson for pushing this, a team of mental health providers who can show up. And believe it or not, I don't have the numbers, but if you look in the annual report that the chief just passed out, that report has those numbers, and it's over 50 times in Danville we had responses for that. And the outcomes have all been really, really good. Before, the choice was police officer shows up, they determined your well-being is not clearly stable. They do what's called a 5150. It's a 72-hour hold. Doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get the help or get the response. And so, we have organizations and nonprofit like Discovery Counseling here. They're all work in partnership, and particularly starting in our schools. If you can find a mental health issue in a child, you can make him become a healthy, productive adult. If you try to solve that problem as an adult, it's a challenge. It takes a lot of resources. But our mental health, and what's our two fears? I think all of us in the council and all of our staff, we worry about two events happening. A fire, which as we know are so fast, so responsive. When you get a call, evacuate, you have to do it. You need to know where the evacuation routes. I sit on with Councilman Robringer from Concord on Contra Costa Transportation Authority, and we're doing a county-wide evacuation plan. Part of that is doing smart signals. What do smart signals mean? Smart signals are going to help buses, they're going to help autonomous vehicles, they're going to help do evacuations. That smart signal has AI, has camera systems built into it, robust data, but when it says we're all going to head Sycamore Valley east, that's the evacuation route. All the light signals funnel that way. And it gives you those priority systems. Now that's where the most likely event we'd have to evacuate. The other event we won't have to evacuate, but we're going to be in place on our own for a while, is an earthquake. And you can ask Mayor Mark Armstrong about how he feels about earthquakes. Shaking with about 800 earthquakes in the past 60 days. And by the way, Danville had the same number a few years ago, and we've been bouncing back and forth. And right now, we're about 20 years past the historical average of having a major event. A major event on this quake zone is about 7.5. Remember, the Loma Prieta started at 7.3. It was 26 miles away, downgraded to 6.8. It's most likely it'll be here in the San Ramon Valley. So we're prepared. There's the EOCs. The largest EOC is in a joint product of that with San Ramon Valley Fire, City of San Ramon in Danville. Before Hurricane Katrina, we didn't have those things. So the world has changed in much better ways to help. This is something I think is important. It's the hardest thing being in the council is being patient. You have to save. We have to pay cash for everything. Most cities leverage, they sell bonds and do things like that. So here we are. Our income's about $45 million a year. Our income only goes up with inflation. Why do I always say that? Do you know government every 10 to 12 years is almost in bankruptcy? All public agencies, except for one, maybe two. Why? They do a cost of living, and that's not called a raise. Acronym COLA. So it's always equal to inflation. Their revenues are only going up by inflation, generally speaking. And then they give a raise on top of that. So they're generally going up, their expenses go up double the rate. It's not sustainable. State of California, since the year 2000 through December, the inflation rate averaged 3% per year. Pretty good measure, even through the Great Recession. So the inflation was 97. Let's call it 100%. In California, for the state government, how much do you think the revenue went up? 250%. So what does it tell you? It's a spending problem. They think it's a revenue problem. If I own, well, one of my companies, if I got a 250% increase in revenue, I'd be sitting on an island someplace nobody could ever get a hold of me. So this is our challenge. Walnut Creek, 22 to 24% of property taxes. Most of the cities, if you were after the effects of Proposition 13 or got readjusted because of that, you're in the 20 to 24%. Everybody after that is 7. Now cities are down to 6. And if you don't have something to supplement that, that's pretty hard to run government on. That's why we're considered a limited service city. So where does it go? What's our single biggest expense? Police. It has to be. Again, if you want to have a good business environment, you want to have safe schools, you have to have a safe community. It's our most important, and by the way, that only goes up with inflation. And again, we have the same number of officers, 30 sworn officers for the past 31 years. Maintenance is important. We contract out a lot of our services. We've got about 14, 15 people that are full-time employees, sort of high-level management level. We have 3 competitive contracts we go out. And guess what we did during the Great Recession? We had a 30-day cancellation clause. We canceled every contract, and we rebid them. You know what happened? They dropped by 25%. And we asked the company, so, well, how can you do this? He says, look, we're in this together. We're all going down if we can't survive this together. And it's some of those tools that we have that sadly other people don't have those tools as an advantage. This is sort of like, the question is, can we afford it? What are we giving up? How do we pay for it? And I use a simple example. You know, in California, and I bet there's only a few of us, mostly the elected and staff, that you don't know this fact. Do you know that everybody in the state of California, with the exception of 80 assembly members, 40 state senators, 7 statewide offices, all of us are nonpartisan by state constitution? We can't tell you what party, we can't campaign on it, but we do know the big cities, right? It's the third parties that tell you that. And the reason why I mentioned it's important, when we sit around a table and you look at that pothole, and we're all staring at it, we go, that's just a pothole. It's not a liberal pothole. It's not a conservative pothole. Just a pothole, right? We have 2 decisions to make. One, can we pay for it? Secondly, how do we do that? That's the role and responsibility of local government. And by the way, here's the real secret sauce. Everything you touch and feel is provided by local government. That includes county. State of California does not provide roads. Caltrans got out of the business of building roads. They're supposed to repair them. That's another story. Since 1993-94. That was back in the ERAFT. Educational Realignment Formula. People in education know what that means. It meant Proposition 13 patches fell apart, and they had to completely redo the tax-based system. That's when Caltrans money got pulled. They're the same size agency, by the way, but they don't build things. Caldecott Tunnel, our agency built that. By the way, it was on time and under budget. So this looks complicated, but it's real simple as that pothole story. How do we make decisions? Renee gets on the council. She wants to do this and that. We go, great idea. You know, fortunately, she's blonde and always looks good, and her hair's the same color. Mine turned gray by the time we could build the project because we had to wait 8 years. So I jest about that, but it takes patience. And most people who get elected want to do something now. If you're in government, you got to have a lot of patience. And it will pay off in the future. Now here's the good news. When you look at what sales tax is statewide, that negative number, state of California, sales are dropping by 1.7. Now, there's still leakage, obviously, on online. There was a law passed it started just when COVID, the same year of COVID in 2020, to capture some of those sales tax, right? You used to be able to things, you know, another state not pay sales tax. That's important because it's hurting our local economy and our tax system. But what's really interesting is what's happened is retail sales in the town of Danville are up 11% year over year. That's extraordinary. Now, you may own a business that didn't see that, but overall, when I got on the council, one of the reasons I ran, downtown Danville was 40% vacant. You could rent a space less than $1 a square foot. It was a ghost town, and it didn't look that great. Today, if there's a vacancy, as Amy mentioned, it's filled up downtown. COVID helped our downtown more than anything. There was a flight from shopping centers to go to the downtown area because it was one of the few places there's activity. So while gross dollars, we have two people in Danville. One's a home business, another one's a big box. If you pull those out, that's how the 11% went up. Now that one home business, I happen to know the guy, it's really interesting, only hires veterans to work for him. And they don't do any work in Danville, but they book their sales tax here. It's a huge variable. There are millions of dollars of revenue per year in their financial model. But when you look at transportation, that's down 8%. Business to business, even past 2 years. Sorry, I didn't misspell. This grew up and covered the words up. If I go back one, maybe there. Shared sales tax, we didn't used to get any of that. And it's really not fair. The per capita income here shows it's like in any sales tax-based event, Danville, San Ramon Valley is a donor to the system. So we contribute probably about 40% of all the revenue in the county. And it's because on the per capita basis, the disposable incomes are so high. So the 19% is based on a formula that's based on like Walnut Creek. Everything slaves off of that. Whatever their gross brick and mortar sales was, give them their percentage of the total tax. That's what they get percentage of the online. They're not buying more online per capita than we are. I have 7 to 12 deliveries on my street a day. That doesn't include the night when they still sneak in, and there's only 6 houses on my street. So overall economy, state of California is dropping. Sales tax, retail businesses in Danville are up. And next, I want to show you, it didn't pop up. We'll get to it. Who those top 25 are. I'm going to go back to this chart real quick. There are 7, these are the top 25 businesses that generate sales tax in Danville. So it kind of relates to their gross receipts. 7 of those are restaurants. One restaurant, or 2 of the restaurants owned by the same husband and wife. And you can see there's the Chevron station, by the way, Aquavets is up there. But gas sales tax is dropping a lot because we're all using, because it's almost $7 a gallon. But that's an interesting, you see Piatti's, Revel, Safeway stores, even Sloat is one of the top ones, Marshall stores, Loconda, Ravello, even the catering, Patrick David, as he got back in the business, he's in the top 25. Essen, Forbes Mill, Salitos, Beverages and More. So you'll see Trader Joe's is on there. Those are the top 25. And you're going to see that list change a little bit next year. There are some new businesses that come in and have figured out how to carve deeply into the community, and not stealing business from other business, but creating new business. So capital investment, if you look at a city and you find out how much money, they have their budget and they're saying they're struggling with a budget, and then you look at how much are they reinvesting. So capital is money you have to save, and that's how you fix things. Fixing roads, fixing your underground utility systems that are not sexy, they're not fun to look at. And we have a major one in San Ramon Valley Boulevard that's going to cost several $1 million, and we've been saving for it. But it's capital investment that shows the health. There's a ratio between how much your operating budget is and how much you're spending on capital. But I can tell you, if you get below $2 per person, you're investing in capital, you're in deep trouble. That $2 won't even pave a street. So we have been fortunate to be able to carve out a general fund money. These are not grants. Danville is not eligible for grants anymore. We just don't have the profile. We got picked off the list. State of California picks on us as often as they can that we have too many good things here. We're run too well. We're too cost effective. and you get nothing for anything. So you get punished for doing a good job in a way. But it's, when you look at it, we're 18 square miles of area, but you look at these numbers of how many miles we have, almost 160 miles of streets. It takes a lot to maintain that. And some of those have not been capitalized in the way we would have liked. So those are on our new capital schedules. So you'll see investments tearing up roads to replace, but we found new technologies, how we can drill under a brand new paved street and not disrupt it. But capital investment is a good sign. This Town Green, at the Town Green, we're putting in a new pavilion so that bands can be there. We're going to move all of the summertime free concerts downtown Danville to support the downtown, support the restaurants, but we need a bigger bandstand that's going to be there. And right across the little Halverson Creek, there's a makerspace studio. These are out to bid right now. They're going to start construction in a couple of months. And that's going to help expand for artists, our children, art projects and things like that, as we try to reinforce the arts district to get more and more people downtown. Those are exciting things. We talked a little bit about the technology. The Smart Signal project, we're fortunate we had empty conduits. It's still a multi-million-dollar project to get fiber optics to tie all of our signals so they're instantaneously performing. And again, as new transportation technologies come in, those have to work within a nanosecond to tell you that it's okay to make a right turn or a left turn. The other thing it will do, it also will keep track of how many bicycles go through an intersection, how many pedestrians, what are the incidents. It'll give us more backup information for incident planning. And if you want to know what's happening in e-bikes, watch the current legislation. RBK, our local assemblywoman, has a great bill coming out that's going to, with a few minor little changes, is going to help e-bikes in our policing of that, in trying to be able to determine what classification and whether a 12-year-old kid could ride a bike, but maybe they need a license and they have to be 16 years old, which we really can't tell right now. But these are some of the improvements that are going on. Smart signals will be able to identify. They are called dumb signals. Dumb signals, when you pull up and there's nobody on the other way, but they have a green light, that's a dumb signal. A smart signal says, I don't need to turn that on. So you'll see some improvements. We have pretty good ones already. Quality of life. This is a project, and there was another slide, but it's hidden. And this is a little video. We've been trying to get for 30 plus years a safe trail on Diablo. Now, part of that trail goes in the county, as part of it's in Danville. We finally got it. We got the right-of-way and the property. And can somebody play that video? Oh, there it goes. Now, the railing here has been changed. It's now a wood rail, but it's a heavy barricade to prevent cars. But the idea is that we're going to have a biking trail so you can actually get up to Mount Diablo without riding on the roads, and you don't have to ride through Diablo. Not that we're trying to help them, but it helps all of us to make a safer place. So that project is under construction. Last year's Mayor Renee Morgan did the groundbreaking in the fall, and then we found some birds. So we're back with Fish and Game, talking about birds, and still talking about birds, but construction will start here shortly. And that's the trail. So what's cool about it, it's going to go along the creek. Believe it or not, I can't believe how we got permission to do that. It's probably because we're helping stabilize the banks. But you'll be able to walk and ride right next to the creek. And you'll be separated away from the roadway and stuff like that. It does go on the McGee property, the original McGee Ranch. But very, very exciting. So here's the biggest problem in Danville. This is the worst thing that you can imagine to happen. We all had our own determination. By law, all cities in California must have a general plan. General plan says property X is for this, property Y, it's for that. And by the way, you're not going to build a mortuary next to a grammar school. You're not going to have an industrial galvanizing hot dip plant next to single family houses. It's those kind of common sense things. State of California steps in, takes over local control. To the point that if we didn't agree to rezone, we had to have a minimum of 400, accommodate 400 new houses every 8 years under what's called RENA numbers. We pretty well got close to that every year. In 1 year, they changed that to 2,241. We have 16,000 homes. 2 empty parcels that might accommodate 120 units. We were supposed to be built up in the year 2000. Year 2003, you can look at our population, we were built out. So what do we have to do? We had to rezone our shopping centers. You can't rezone single-family houses. And you have 90 days to approve them. And if you don't approve them, they're automatically approved by law. So that's our problem. Those people in that capital, I'm in the housing business. I've built tens of thousands of units, a 500-unit high-rise building in San Francisco, and a certain senator, and by the way, all their last names end in W, they can't tell you why we aren't building houses in California. In fact, they're talking about old statistics. It used to be, before 2009, the Great Recession, you needed to build a town the size of Danville every 4 weeks. Now we can tear one down every 8 weeks. They're using statistics on population growth that don't exist, and they haven't existed in 15, 16 years. Because it makes them, makes them feel good, funds their campaigns for their exit strategies. And we have right now 1.6 million units in California, and we average 1.2 million a year that are approved and not built. Not one of them can tell you why they're not built. They can't tell you all the barriers to that. So approving more houses and more houses doesn't solve the problem. We have a fundamental problem. Our building codes are overwrought with special interests. 40% of the cost of a house is unnecessary. Putting fire sprinklers, even if the fire department was here, fire sprinklers in a single-family house is because a group of people who sell those products got it in the code. It won't save your house, by the way. If there's a fire, it's to give you enough time. Even in a high-rise building, we put fire sprinklers in building, not to save the building. You couldn't afford to do that. It's to give you enough time to exit before it collapses. Do we need them in multifamily? Yeah. We have so many things in housing that they won't even look at what the problem is. So there are solutions, but we've got to be willing to talk about it. You've got to talk about it to somebody who's willing to stick around and see it through. Not somebody who's on an 8-year cycle worried about, I'm only making $135,000 working for the state of California as an elected official, and now I'm going to go out and find a job and make $1 million a year and come back as a lobbyist and feed us bills that we don't need. Have we gotten some good projects? Yeah, we have. These are all housing element projects. One of our local developers is in the room, has done a couple of really nice projects here. And you can still get good design, and it's design what has always made Danville, the buildings more appropriate. You know, I would talk about the village apartments, but that's a 6-story building. And you can argue with the developer, that's a 4-story building. Well, there's 2 floors of parking that face San Juan Valley Boulevard, and there's a 4-story building on top of it. Is that a 6-story building or a 4-story building? Oh, you don't count parking. Why we live in Danville? We live here because the relationship was said between the Chamber of Commerce, our Danville nonprofits, and by the way, if you're a nonprofit, you're the heart of a community. You're the conscious. You're the people who stepped up to say, I want to help. I want to make lives better. I want to improve what's going on. The events that we have, our challenges is making sure, and there are a couple in the room here, who are professional organizers. Somebody has a great idea to organize it. We, the town, we don't organize the events. That's not our bandwidth. We're there to help facilitate. But this year, in partnership with the Chamber of Commerce, we're now up to 26. Oh my gosh, we're running late. My fault. And let me show you if that will work. No. Those are all the events. The other ones are highlighted. Those are the things that are happening that are going to be mostly in the downtown. Events are what bring community together. Community is what makes a town. What makes a town is people who come to their downtown, participate, and celebrate. So this year, look out. There's a lot of really cool events, and it portends. So what does it cost? For us, the town of Danville, we spend your taxpayer dollars. we have to spend $90,000 to help support just the 4th of July, $50,000 for the hot summer car show, $60,000 for the lighting of the oak tree. Those are things that we make as investments. And why would we spend public money? Because it's part of what makes our community. So the things we're going to do, public safety has got to be number one on our list. Support for local businesses. Maintaining a town that is not going to go into bankruptcy. Maintaining a community that can pay its bills. Maintaining a community that stays within its own financial resources. We're unique. Look at that. 4 of us all are current or former business owners, 4 are former town commissioners. All of us came from a nonprofit from Leadership San Ramon Valley. I encourage you to take it. It's a year-long course. And with that, I am done, but let's give all the credit to Ty Williams and all the Danville staff. Thank you, guys. I just want to say one closing thing, and this is going to take a second. This is very personal. This is Danville, the story I told. A few weeks ago, I was reminded of the, I'll get to it, incredible compassion that lives in this community during a very difficult time. We found letters, kind words, prayers, and incredible acts of kindness. Some were from longtime friends. Others were from people I'd never heard of, never met, but they all shared something in common. They cared. The gestures reminded me of something important about this town. Danville is not defined by its buildings, its streets, or even its history. It's defined by its people who care about each other. So today, I simply want to say thank you. Thank you for caring. Thank you for serving. Thank you for continuing to make Danville one of the most remarkable communities anywhere. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Arnerich, for sharing with us your vision for Danville and the future ahead. We're thrilled to be part of it with you and really appreciate the partnership with the town. We just have one more slide, and just encouraging all of you to attend our upcoming events for the chamber in the next couple months. So we have a breakfast mixer. Breakfast, one word. It's April 1st. It's not an April Fool's joke. We really are having it at Regis, so please join us. We have a joint mixer with the San Ramon Chamber at the Blackhawk Museum. Thank you, David Baring, for graciously hosting us there again this year on April 16th. Glenn, do you want to just say a quick word about the seminar on April 28th?
Yes, we're going to be doing a special seminar on protecting your business from crime and theft. This helps to keep the town so it's the safest one in the state. We want to continue that. We will have the chief of police making a presentation. We'll also have Bay Alarm. We'll make a presentation as well and what you can do for new systems. I get to talk, let's see, wire theft. Personal experience with that recently. But we'll kind of try to educate the people here in town, especially businesses, how to protect your business, to continue to make it safer, and we're looking forward to a great seminar. April 28th, it'll be about 9 o'clock to 10:30, and I think we're going to do it at the the town meeting hall. That's where we're doing it. We look forward to seeing you there.
And last but not least, our Sip and Stroll is back, and it's on May 7th, so that's during Small Business Week, and it's the Thursday before Mother's Day, so it's a great day to come out and enjoy our shops, and we're going to be bringing wineries to those shops. So join us for that. All of the information is on our website, on our events calendar. And last but not least, we had some wine donated by Retzlaff Vineyards, so what we're going to do today is pick one of the table numbers out of this bag, and one lucky table is going to get to you each walk away with a bottle of wine. So with no further ado, It better not be table 1. Okay, good.
Winner is table number 14.
Congratulations, and thank you all for coming to State of the Town. We appreciate all of you.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. Have a great summer.